We're talking with Eric Gordon today, the director of the Engagement Game Lab at Emerson College. And his track for DML 2014 is entitled Playing for Keeps, Gameful Design for Real World Action and Social Change. Please tell us what's exciting to you about your track and what you look forward to doing.
I'm really excited to run this track at DML largely because to bring together the typical attendees at DML that are teachers and educators and thinkers in the space of digital media and learning around specifically the issue of games and gameful design in an out of classroom setting. So what I'm really interested in is how games and play are creating a context for interaction within a civic space that can be really powerful, and that could actually change the way that communities interact and change the way that governments respond to communities. One of the tensions that is present in this idea is the tension of play and what is typically associated with the work of civic life and civic engagement and political action. And what I really hope to explore in this track is where that tension, those places where that tension comes to life, where the political action itself that's mediated through a game is playful and even fun and pleasurable, but that institutions in some way or another have to be responsive to that act of play. And so when we think about games, we often think about play being outside of everyday life, and this idea of this magic circle being this sort of protected space where the implications of play are contained within the game environment itself. But I think what we're seeing in the way that games are being designed and played in situations that are beyond, say, a single screen or a board, that we're actually seeing the implications of those play acts extending as I said before, to communities and institutions beyond that. So I really want people to come together that can explore those tensions, explore the places for play in political life. And to push this beyond where it's been. So beyond the game in the classroom, beyond the gamification of political life, but really towards that moment of transforming those everyday actions of political life and civic life into playful actions that I think can be far more powerful and far more effective than the way that we typically think about them.
Do you foresee ways in which the participants in your panel can take your ideas and begin to implement them in their communities?
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of this is already happening. So what I'm hoping to have happen is that we can just label things that are already clearly within the realm of play. Maybe not defined in the form of a game, but clearly within the realm of play. How these things are already happening, we can understand them and we can label them and we can understand the political work that they're doing, which is again moving play away from simply fun and games and towards something that's quite serious. What I find in the work that I do is that there's that tension that comes from not only players but people who are potentially responsive to that play, that disregards those acts of play because they're not serious. And what I'm hoping that this does is that pushes that to the next level. And so to answer your question, yes, I mean, I think people can. It's not my ideas, but the ideas that are already out there, that are already being deployed with young people and beyond. And if we can label them and sort of take those out again, I think we can. I think that people can be very active with what happens, with what they learn from this particular track.
Do you have a quick example make this concrete in people's minds?
Well, sure. So the example would be in my own work. We make in my lab we make games that facilitate deliberation within an urban planning process. So when people play that game, they're actually contributing to a larger process and taking those play actions out and advocating for their positions and trying to make a difference within their local communities. But even beyond games, of course, we can see examples like the Harry Potter Alliance, where civic acts are framed in a playful way, not certainly not in a game, but in a playful way that can redefine the individual action itself as being something that is more imaginative and exploratory than to say the work of civic life. So I see games as sort of intersecting within that realm of just playful experiences that translate to direct action, whether it's designed within a game or whether that play happens outside of a game.
Fantastic. Sounds like a session that could have some real impact. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you.